Hello, welcome back to DocGirlRambles. It's Brianna here, and I'm here to talk about the EPPP. So it's been a while since I posted, and that is because I had been studying for the EPPP, and today is December 20th, 2024. Yesterday I took the EPPP and I passed. I sure did. And I remember in some video I said I was going to share how I was studying and how I was doing, and then once I was just in it, I could not record anything. So I'm going to share in this video my study process and what I did, and in another video I'll share more about my experience taking the test. So previously I shared that I was planning to use PrepJet, and I did decide to do that. I got a 3-month subscription. That's my cat. And started studying in September. By the time that I subscribed, I had it was like 96 days for my test, and I only had 90 days in the subscription. So I knew that I would be losing access to PrepJet about a week before I took the test, and that was fine. So what I did was I got the Plus subscription in PrepJet. The Plus subscription includes the content summaries, so the actual content that you need to learn and read. Practice exams. It has 7 practice exams that are already created. It has video lectures where someone else is going through kind of like broad overview topics that are anywhere from 30 minutes to I think an hour and a half. And then you can also do custom exams. So you can make a custom exam based on the areas that you want to continue practicing in. And they have their own method that PrepJet uses that they recommend that you follow. They have the Big 6 model, if you hear that. Those are like the Big 6 domains that they think are weighted heavily and moderately on the exam. And I followed that. I would read the summaries. They have like a highlight feature. I would highlight things. You could add comments. So whenever I would read something and think, oh, that reminds me of, I would put that in the comments. And then after every subdomain, so there's the domains and then there's the stuff under it, they have a quiz. So it quizzes you on what you just read. I used my iPad to write my notes. I would write them as I went along. And the thing that was really helpful was I would read the content summary, take my notes, and then the next day I would review my notes. And when I did that, I would use like the highlighter or a different colored pen in my iPad so that I could add things to it. So if anyone were to look at my notes on my iPad, they're all different colors because the color that I use to take the notes are not the colors of, when I would go back and review things. And so the number of colors really shows like how many times I reviewed that content. And then every once in a while, you take a practice exam. And I got to a point where I was doing practice exams every other week. And then as it got closer and I knew my subscription was ending, I was doing them every week. And that was a really great way to kind of bring everything together. I used Psych Prep Audio to supplement. So in my fellowship, we drive to different early care settings around the state. So it was nice to use the audio files to just like continue doing some passive studying. And that was really helpful. The only challenging thing is, as of right now, the Psych Prep Audio is from like 2016, 2018. I don't know. It's a few years old. Not great. They're updating it, but they won't be done until 2026. But that was at least helpful to review things I'd already read. So when I would listen to audio, I was only listening to the audio to areas that I had just read. And that actually really helped me consolidate the information. And sometimes they would have extra details that weren't in the PrepJet summaries. So there are a lot of different companies that have EPPP study materials. PrepJet, which I used, has 3 different tiers. There's Basic, Plus, and Premium. Basic is everything that I had minus the video lectures, I think. And then Premium is everything I had plus one-on-one coaching. That might be the only difference, but you can do it coaching as an add-on for Plus as well. And then there's Psych Prep, who I use their audio, but they also have materials. I think you can get them either like digital or like physical books. PrepJet, as far as I know, is the only one that's like online only. There's A-Tabs. They're known for having like really thick books. I've heard they're very dense. Those are like the most expensive ones that I've seen. And then there are some other ones that are like, people have used them, but A-Tab, Psych Prep, and PrepJet are the most popular, I'd say. Part of what helped me study is that I had a plan. Because I knew that my subscription was ending, I knew that I needed to really buckle down and study and not BS it, because once it was gone, I was not paying for another month. So what I did was, I fully took advantage of the beginning of my fellowship where things were really slow. I was studying a lot at work when I had downtime. And then my plan was to study like 2 to 3 hours a weeknight. And then on the weekends, I would study a little bit more. I would say 3+ hours, either one day or 2 days. It ended up being 2 days because twice a week I met up with friends from my grad program cohort. Sunday and Wednesday night, we would get on Zoom for about 2 hours just for accountability purposes. Like, we weren't practicing anything. We would just sit on Zoom and do our own thing. And then Saturday mornings, I would meet with one of the fellows here, and she was studying. So we would go to different coffee shops, and then we would just go and be accountability buddies for that. So I ended up studying, I think PrepJet will, it tells you how long you study in their program. It was about 129 hours in their program, which does not include, like, it doesn't include when you're watching the video lectures, which is annoying. But I watched a lot of those video lectures, so that's extra time. Also, when I was reviewing my own notes, that was extra time. So anything, and driving around, listening to audio. So I would say I probably studied anywhere from like 160 to 180 hours maybe. But then when I lost my PrepJet subscription, I had to decide if I was gonna ramp up my studying, like doing practice exams, or if I was gonna chill out. And I actually decided to kind of chill out. I did a lot of passive studying in the last week, listening to audio, doing a couple, like doing maybe 10 practice questions here and there, but I didn't do a lot. And the night before, I did nothing. I decided that if I didn't already know it, I didn't know it. I wasn't gonna know it. And if I kept getting it wrong, that's just something, I was just gonna have to be okay with getting that wrong. And the key, I think, to not stressing out about it is remembering that this is just a test. It's an expensive test, it's an annoying test, and it is a barrier to getting your license. However, it says nothing about your ability to do clinical work. And once I kind of framed it like that for myself, that is really what helped me. Yeah, that's what really helped me like chill out while I was studying. I was eerily calm, not anxious, which is not my, my jam. I'm usually a ball of nerves. So that was that experience, and I passed on my first attempt. So what worked for me may not work for you, or it might, but there's definitely a lot of support, and I highly recommend like having a study schedule and having accountability partners. Like, don't try to do this on your own. But that's all I'm going to share about kind of like the study process. In a different video, I'll tell you about the day of and how that went. But I will chat with y'all later. Bye.